This is CIS 505 Project 2 done by Ali Abo-Jadya. My overarching question is which countries have the highest rate of lung cancer and why they have it higher than the others. So the datasets are these. They were extracted from gapminder's World Indicator dataset. The dashboard was created using Tableau. So on the first slide, we can see the map of the world with the incidence rate for lung cancer for the year 2005. We can tell from the first glimpse on the map that the European countries and United States and most developed countries have a high rate or incidence of new lung cancer compared to the rest of the world, especially the African or underdeveloped countries. Let's see Nigeria, Mali, 133, Mauritania, only 44. Tanzania, Democratic Republic of Congo, Angola, Zambia, only 31. And here we see Australia, for example, 5,900. Zambia, only 31. Australia, 5,000. Why does the developed countries have a higher rate of lung cancer than the underdeveloped or developing countries? What could be the reasons for such discrepancies? We need to analyze further data to answer these questions. So this slide tells us the new lung cancer cases per 100,000 people, the top 10 highest and lowest countries. So we made this to make sure that the population is not the reason behind this discrepancy. This method tells us the proportion of new incidents and new cases when we compare it to a chunk of people or a group of people. Again, we see all African countries have a low incidence rate of lung cancer compared to the European countries. All European countries have a high rate. For example, Hungary, 101. North Korea is an exception to the European countries. It's not a European country. Slide 4, percentage of smokers worldwide for the year 2005. As we all know, smoking is one of the major reasons for the lung cancer. So from the first glimpse on this map, we can tell that most European countries have a high rate of smoking compared to Africa. But you see the United States, Canada 25, 26, Australia's 27% smoking rate. Let's see here, Zambia 38%, much higher than Australia. Why? If we go back to the first slide, we see Australia have approximately 6,000 cases while Zambia only 32. This is strange. To know the reason, we need to analyze further data. Here we analyze the life expectancy worldwide for the year 2005. So we can tell from looking at the map that most African countries, with the exception to North Africa, have a very low life expectancy rate. And the scientific literature and research proved that lung cancer generally developed after the age of 50. So many people could die even before they develop lung cancer. Compared to the rest of the world, European countries and developed world have a very good life expectancy rate. Here on this slide, we examine the average spending on government on health per citizen. Again, we see Africa spend very small amount on their health compared to Europe and developed countries. Here is the mean income per capita per country for the year 2005. Again, we see the European countries, United States, and developed countries have a very high income compared to African countries. Finally, we compare the Human Development Index, which is an indicator to see and know which country is developed, and it takes many different parameters, including the education, life expectancy, per capita income indicator. It was developed by Mahmoud al-Haq. So this gives us a general idea that most countries with a low incidence of lung cancer are underdeveloped to prove our theory. Conclusions. What can we conclude from the previous data? I came up to 4 conclusions. All of them could be true, or one of them could be true, or multiple. Number 1, underdeveloped countries have limited ways and means to diagnose lung cancer. Number 2, life expectancy in underdeveloped countries is much lower than developed countries. Thus, we can presume people might die before even developing lung cancer. People in underdeveloped countries can die from a variety of reasons, including epidemics, conflict, starvation. Underdeveloped countries spend very little on health and people have very limited income, thus they cannot receive paramedic health care, meaning many cases could go unnoticed. So these are the major reasons or conclusion we can come up from analyzing the previous data. Thank you very much for your attention and your listening.